radium fuel cell in position.
Holy cow.
Wow.
Were you? I don't know how you was in there breathing.
I wasn't. I was holding my breath. I've never seen a car smoke so much with so little.
Oh my god.
Long story short, I'm gonna finish stripping the car and mess with the Lexan or the polycarbonate, and then get the engine in. The trans, I'm hoping will fit in the trans tunnel. It might need modification.
Is that 8 HP?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's a Dodge 8 HP. It's a ZF 8 HP. They hold up to 1,000 horsepower. They're in the Hellcats and stuff. It's short and stubby.
Yeah.
But it is
mass, like diameter wise.
Yeah.
It's huge.
So I want to make sure, I want to get all of that out of the way before I do the cage, because if I have to do trans tunnel stuff and the cage is in the way. Everyone at the track has Porsches, Evos, BMWs, Miatas. You don't see this at the track. So when people see this at the track, they're like, what the heck is that thing? It's kind of like an advertisement for us.
Pretty much.
So the more we make this car look like a street car, the more we can be like, yeah, we can get this exact car for you from Japan, and you can do this. So the more and more we take it away from the street aspect, the less appealing it is to people.
This thing's massive. What gallon fuel cell is this?
That's the biggest one that Radium offers. I think it's a 20 or a 22. With his current setup on E85, 1J, 5.5 horsepower, he can do 7 laps.
Okay.
And then it runs dry. Now this car is going to be a 3-liter 2J, 700 horsepower on E. So if we can get like 12 laps, that'd be great. Radium does something cool. So you can buy the fuel cell and they ship it out completely assembled. It's got the fuel pump in it, it's got the sending unit, it's got the surge tank. It is ready to go. You just put fuel lines and power to it and it's done. Yeah, and we're gonna have to do some custom.
I was gonna say, how are you gonna fit that?
This is where the factory tank goes, and the factory tank is a 20 gallon or 18 gallon, something like that. So we're gonna have to cut out the firewall back here and bring the fuel cell in as close as we can to the center. We wanted to put it back here, but the more we looked at it, there's just no room. We would have to go with a tiny fuel cell, and that's just not what we want to do. We need the fuel capacity. So that's the best placement. It is right over the axle. It's not hanging off the back, so it's better than being in the spare tire area.
Devin!
Hey, buddy. Hey, start a couple points. What fun?
We need some weight in the back of the car.
Spinning? Yeah.
does look good.
Yeah.
Just to make sure it doesn't move around.
Mount it up through here. Yeah, and it just adds some strength right there. So we're gonna use these holes here that are already, you know, threaded.
That's where the factory tank bolted.
Factory tank bolts in there. So this is gonna go from here and have like a bar goes up into here, and then from here and go up into here.
Sheesh.
And then off of those bars are gonna be the mounts here. So it's actually gonna be structural for the car and a mount. Why not make it structural?
Yep.
True.
And nothing stronger than triangles. I learned that at Ep.2 Center. Radium fuel cell, in position, halfway mounted up.
Halfway mounted
But
up.
I really love where it's located. Like, it's awesome. Because like, this car takes a really bad rear hit or something.
It's
Side hit, any hit.
You're dead if this thing gets punctured.
Right, if this is ruptured, I'm already dead from impact.
Chris is long gone.
So,
Yeah.
no worries there.
This is one of the best places you can put it. The only
Yes.
other place that would be better than this is in the cabin. That would be the next best, just for weight purposes.
To be able to keep it more centered and maybe lower.
Right.
Like, this is up a little bit, but this is where the other one was. So, and this is probably even more forward. We're about the same.
This is about the same place that the Nuke one's at.
So what's the next plan for this car? What are we doing now?
Well, we're gonna put the engine and bolt the transmission to it with our adapter.
Oh, the 8 HP?
Yes, we're gonna hook up the 8 HP 70
Sweet.
transmission to the 2JZ GTE
Okay.
with the adapter I got from Seems Legit Garage.
Nice.
Yes, we want to test fit in the car because we're not sure about the tunnel being big enough.
That's it's pretty beefy, right?
It's
The
a lot
transmission's
easier-
big.
It's a lot easier to get this done now before the cage is in.
Mm-hmm.
So we might as well get that out of the way and this out of the way
Get
while
this
the
all
cage
mounted
is
up.
not done.
And then cage.
Mm-hmm. Makes sense. So you said you're planning for fall. You're gonna be on track.
Yes.
Fall.
Maybe I might next year get this all operational. I might go to like Canada, New York and stuff like in the warmer weather because then that'll be nice. And then in the winters, I could go down to like Florida, like Sebring. I'll just, you know, hire Devin to trailer it out there.
Yeah.
I'm down.
And make sure it's all tip-top shape and everything.
That's
and
the
then
plan.
I'll just fly in.
That's a good.
Private jet.
Yeah. Yeah. Right. Tell them about that
On my
jet.
private jet. It's a G6.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. What? What is that, old lady shopping?
Oh my god. I literally never get tired of that.
Right? I don't think anybody can.
No.
No way.
Now we got you back in our territory.
No way.
What you doing, Jordan?
Stop. I'm screwing these in so they don't fall apart when I'm lugging them.
Oh, when you lugging them?
Yeah.
Oh.
Well, I'm kind of bummed
Why you bummed?
Because it's taken me 2 days to do this. When I say 2 days, I mean it loosely. Like, I might have 3 hours in this, but It's just non-stop going back and forth. Yeah, I mean, I'm happy with how it's turning out.
So we want the good old X pattern. Make it cool.
Yeah, I mean, we're going above and beyond with this thing. It
Right.
really doesn't need to be this extravagant, but it's cool, and it shows off what we can do.
Right, because what would be the other plane if you didn't do this X?
If I didn't do this X, I mean, just a straight bar. Done.
And that's boring.
Yeah. I made these mounts up on the lathe. This part will weld the chassis. And then this other piece is just a piece of this chromoly that's just cut and machined down. And then it goes in there,
Oh, nice.
and that just welds right up.
And you just screw right down the center.
Yep. The way I see it is maybe if Chris wants to go with a different tank, I doubt he ever will. But I didn't really want to weld this stuff in because, one, we don't have to, and two, if we do need to change this, then we don't have to cut those out with a firewall in the way. So.
Holy cow.
Wow.
I don't know how you was in there breathing.
I wasn't. I was holding my breath. I've never seen a car smoke so much with so little. That is crazy. There's like 5 layers right there, and it's nothing but seam seal and panel bond between the layers.
And that's what's burning off.
It did not want to weld.
Oh, really?
It's really thin, so it would like pierce through one of the layers, and all the goo would come through. Now that we have cut up this factory firewall, there has to be a firewall put back in place. So unfortunately, we don't have any kind of fancy bead roller. That is up next on the equipment list, because what I would do is like some kind of fancy designs on the sheet metal. I did do some hems on the flat sides, and these brakes will, this is a brake. These brakes will stiffen up this piece, so it shouldn't be a stiffness issue. It's just an ugly flat piece of panel. Essentially, a firewall is, in the case of an accident, fuel doesn't get spilled on the driver, and if there is a fire, it isn't in the main compartment. It is contained to the rear.
What are you doing for the sides here?
So we have to have fuel run to the front of the car. It's kind of pointless to run the fuel to the rear and then under the car back up to the front. So I'm going to bring the fuel lines from the top hat over here, and we're going to come through a bulkhead in the floor. So because that's there has to be access panels on either side. The fuel is really going to be on this side, but because this fuel cell is bolted in, we have to get to those bolts.
That is true.
In order to get to the bolts, you need to take panels off. It serves multiple purposes.
Right.
It's not as clean looking as one solid piece, but it does the trick.
Right.
Hi.
You want a beer?
Mini fridge?
Mini fridge.
We should swap a VQ in here.
What's up?
If you're gonna be fast,
So it can make like 300 horsepower?
Yeah.
yeah, I got one out there making 300 horsepower.
You don't want to.
I already called him out on it.
Someone else that drove that car told me that 350Z don't want none of the chaser, man.
That's fine. Then it should be an easy race for you.
Okay.
We got this started. We're gonna take all this out. We got some dry ice coming, so we're gonna take all the sound deadening out. We're gonna give it a shot. I've seen other people do it where they take the whole thing out. It's like, I don't know if it's gonna be that easy.
You can't touch it though, right? With your bare hands.
No, you gotta have gloves.
You gotta have gloves.
Yeah, because it's so damn cold.
And you sit it on there and you wait till it gets hardened and then just chunk it away.
Yep.
And hope it works.
Yep.